This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, July 6, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. St. Louis-based grain and soybean manufacturer Bunge broke ground this morning on a more than $500 million soybean processing facility in Morristown. Aaron Butner with Bunge said building the plant in the community where it already has an existing processing plant was an easy decision.
It's really the relationship that we have with the community and the farmers. This is part of the world that grows soybeans very, very competitively. And then the quality and the relationships that we have with our farmer customers to grow the types of soybeans that our customers or consumers on the other side of the chain want is really high and strong here.
The new facility, which will employ about 70 full-time workers, will produce soy protein concentrates for use in the production of plant-based foods, which are growing in demand.
I think the consumer bases that are developing and entering the workforce today have a different perspective on what's important to them and are more driven by the environmental or sustainability concerns, and then also from a nutrition perspective, look at this as an addition to maybe a traditional protein diet. So there's a lot of flexitarian demand that's emerged around the world, and we see that continuing to grow for decades.
The new plant is expected to be operational in mid-2025. Columbia City-based 80/20 is adding to its portfolio. The manufacturer and its parent, private equity firm MPE Partners, have acquired FlexPipe, a maker and distributor of steel modular framing structures and material handling systems in Quebec, though financial terms are not being disclosed. A new fantasy sports betting site is coming to Indiana for the time being. The Indiana Gaming Commission has approved a temporary license for Atlanta-based Prize Picks, which bills itself as the largest fantasy sports provider in North America. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
Indianapolis-based Noble Romans, which is in a heated battle with one of its biggest shareholders over whether CEO Scott Mobley should remain on the company's board of directors, has postponed its annual shareholders meeting.
Noble Romans announced yesterday the meeting had been rescheduled until August 10th to, quote, allow for adequate time for stockholders to return their proxies and for the proxies to be tabulated. The company is fighting a proxy war with North Dakota-based BT Brands, which is asking Noble Romans shareholders to vote for its own CEO, Gary Copperwood, rather than re-elect Mobley to the 5-member Noble Romans board. Since June 1st, both companies have made multiple public statements in efforts to win over Noble Romans stakeholders. BT Brands argues that fresh leadership is needed at Noble Romans, which has seen its financial performance languish in recent years as debt has risen and shareholders' equity has plunged. Noble Romans said Mobley, who has been the company's president since 1997 and its CEO since 2014, is uniquely qualified to lead the company. Noble Romans has also described BT Brands' proposal as a thinly veiled attempt to pressure Noble Romans into accepting a financing offer that would be, quote, materially detrimental to the company's present and future. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Laid-off workers in southern Indiana have an opportunity to get back on their feet next week with 2 open houses to discover resources. Affected workers may be eligible for free training and other employment benefits like job search assistance at the open houses in Evansville and Boonville on July 12th and 13th, respectively. The events follow a series of recent layoffs, including Catalent and Cook Medical in Bloomington, Proterial Cable America in New Albany, and Enjoy Life Foods near Jeffersonville. You can get the full details at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Goodwill Industries International is planning an expansion into Puerto Rico and has chosen affiliate Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana to oversee the effort. Vice President of Marketing and Communications Ivan Cropper said the mission will include employment, job training, adult education, and maternal health care.
We will continue to look to open not just retail stores, but also open adult high schools as the island needs. We'll also look to expand and grow Nurse Family Partnership will look to bring our commercial services or commercial manufacturing over to the island of Puerto Rico as well.
By 2024, Goodwill aims to establish 3 stores in Puerto Rico and have 40 to 80 employees working on the Caribbean island. Indiana Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.